1 minute at a time.
I was blind, but now I see.
Working jobs we hate, so we buy shit we don't need.
Ideas are worthless.
If you had one shot,
everything I'd ever read, heard, seen was now organized and available.
Now you fucking khakis.
life moves pretty fast.
The Biohacking Secret Show.
What's up, biohackers? Anthony DiClemente here with a special episode of the Biohacking Secrets Show for you. In today's episode, I jump on a coaching call with a friend and client. We actually worked together a few years ago. Her name is Nikki. We actually have a podcast of one of our conversations from maybe back in 2016. I don't know what episode it is, but I'm sure if you wanted to listen to it, you could find it. And she had a resurfacing of some symptoms that she describes early in the phone call, ranging from fatigue, body aches, air hunger, to a number of other things, and she needed some help. So we did our full proprietary health assessment that we do that gives, a diagnostic look at what is going on and what are some of the true factors at the root cause driving our symptoms. And then her and I jumped on a phone call, and I wanted to give her some starting recommendations based on everything I knew about her history, what she'd already done, what she'd already tried, what had worked, what hadn't worked. And I wanted to share some of this call with Nikki's permission, of course, with you guys. And if you guys get some value from this episode or any episode, my ask would be that you jump on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts and leave the Biohacking Secret Show a 5-star review. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button too, so that you get all the new episodes. We've got some amazing guests coming up, and it's going to be really, really cool, especially with all of the fun stuff going on in the world. This is a great way for us to communicate and stay safe and healthy and strong. If you guys want to learn more about our coaching program, we have 3 different levels, ranging from a 12-month program, that's our platinum, a 6-month program, that's our gold, and then we have the kind of entry level, which is our full proprietary health assessment, a personalized blueprint that's like a literal book of everything that you need to bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to be, whether that's weight loss, elite cognitive performance, getting rid of pain and inflammation and some of the things that Nikki's dealing with, or anything else. This tool and these offerings will allow you to get there. So you get the health assessment, the personalized blueprint, and a 75-minute consultation with me to kind of walk you through your results and make sure that there are no questions and all of the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And that's more of like a do-it-yourself option, where you kind of take action on the recommendations and put them to work. So that's it. Appreciate you guys. Without further ado, let's dive into this special edition episode of the Biohacking Secrets Show. Oh yeah, and that URL, if you didn't get it the first time around, Biohacker Coaching, BiohackerCoaching.com. Enjoy. Give me the quick elevator pitch of what's been going on. I read through your stuff and have my thoughts. Normally, like, if this was like our first coach, it's a lot different now, but if this was like our first coaching call, we'd have like a 75-minute session to kind of go through every little thing, explain all that. You kind of know a lot of it too. Yeah. So what I figured I would do is, like, obviously our business is coaching and stuff. I'm not like going to sell you coaching or anything like that. I truly believe that it would be the best way to walk you through step by step. But what I want to do on this call is just kind of point you in the right direction, give you some things that you can run with on your own, and then, do whatever the heck you want.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, cool. Give me the kind of elevator just so I'm caught up.
The elevator is really like in January of this year, like I got super sick, and it seemed to be like the first domino to kind of like fall, that moved things backwards. I got really sick in January, and then, like by mid-February had bounced back and felt like, I had a lot of forward momentum. And then again in like mid-March, I took, some steps backwards. Like the first things that started to like happen were like just intense air hunger. and a lot of like insomnia, just like waking up in sweats and waking up with like a little bit more brain fog here and there. But I bounced back, and then really like it was in May that those symptoms started showing up, but like I wasn't recovering. And then just like from May until now, just like gained 15 pounds, like digestion has felt really off, my hormones, like the fluctuation in my symptoms, like throughout my own cycle is like insane. Like I feel like I'm on this roller coaster. So a lot of it feels very reminiscent. Like it's almost deja vu of the first time I got sick, where it's like, okay, my breathing, something is like really off. My digestion, something's off. I'm gaining a lot of weight. My like focus and my like brain fog is not good. And it just seems like the recovery isn't there the way it was earlier this year. So I finally just like, I mean, in late June, I went to go see Katie, and so kind of expressed to her that like my intention this time around is like to just support what my body's naturally meant to do. I don't want to be overwhelmed with like how like I have to do a million things and take a million supplements, and I have to take all these antibiotics, and then I have to take like things to counter the antibiotics. So I expressed to her I wanted to just kind of like support everything. But then like when I started, I didn't really start a lot of things except like big things that stand out. It's like the Quicksilver push catch liver detox, the thymosin alpha 1, some like BPC 157, but like things when we started, like and then also, she gave me valciclovir.
Okay, good. I had a few of these written down. Well, I had push catch and valciclovir written down. Yeah.
So started those and like, just like kind of felt crushed. Like early July, I just was feeling super desperate. Like my body felt really like locked up, like my back and neck, and I did a 5-day water fast, which seemed to help. Like it seemed to break through some of the air hunger for me. But kind of as soon as I started eating again, just like pretty much back to square one with everything else except my breathing, which seems to be like improving now and finally on an upswing.
Okay. What did the push catch help or crush you?
I'm still taking it. Yeah, I am still taking it. I don't know if it's something that I started taking seemed to like, it just felt like I took 5 steps backwards. But you don't know if it's the antiviral or the push catch? Yeah. Like yesterday I went and did lymphatic enhancement therapy for the first time ever. And she was like, your liver is like super congested. Your small intestine super congested. Your spleen is super congested. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what it is. I will say like when I started taking the valciclovir, I had this like, I don't know if it's like a rash is the right word to describe it, but like all over my, like kind of like centrally on one of my shoulders, like Katie saw it and she was like, that looks like shingles to me, to be honest. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, let's take some of this. And the rash did clear up like pretty quickly. Okay. All right. I gotcha. What's the best way for me to kind of present things to you? Like, are you trying to figure out what's going on? What are the big picture moving pieces? You're just kind of looking for some recommendations? Like, yeah, like, I think like recommendations and maybe a little bit of what's going on. Like, I feel like I've been through this enough myself and with Frank that I'm like, I don't know that it necessarily matters to me that much to put a name to things. So, yeah. maybe like a little bit of what you think is going on and what direction you would take, because I've gone the route where I've just like thrown so much time and money at like I'll literally try anything. So yeah.
Okay. What I'm seeing, there's a few different things. Not surprising is that my instinct is that there's infections underlying it. Now, are those infections? It's probably a combination. So the question that I have is: are we talking about Lyme? Are we talking about Bartonella, which is usually, ignored, but is responsible for a lot of the symptoms that Lyme gets credited for? Is it just a ton of viral stuff like Epstein-Barr, the herpes family, all of that? There's your Candida scores are super, super high. And then there's always the possibility of mold and retroviruses. So my instinct is that we have some combination of those things going on that then could have led to, over time, like hypochlorhydria, low stomach acid production and enzyme production. And then that can open up the doorway for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and maybe even parasites. Your parasite score wasn't super high. Have you done like parasite protocols in the past?
I have.
You did the Klinger one, right?
Yes, I did that one.
Where it's like Alinea and all those things? Yes. Okay, so let's imagine that you've addressed those and that's not like the big issue, because I don't feel like it is. What's probably have you done, let's say like a month or even 3 weeks somewhere extremely remote, where it's like, population of the town is less than 1,000 people and you don't have like Wi-Fi running where you're living?
No, I have not.
Okay. I'm not saying you have to do that. I know that's not like the most exciting thing, but it's important to see like how much of this is related to the electromagnetic environment, of which took a huge shift early this year. And I'm not going to get into like quote unquote conspiracy theories, but there would be no part of me that is surprised if they ramped up the power levels on phones, routers, and, while they're putting up all these towers everywhere. Because a ton of people started talking about those types of symptoms in January, February, and March of this year. People that never had them even, right?
Yeah.
So, what I believe is going on is that like the low hanging fruit is heavy metals, because you're probably experiencing like an antenna effect where you have your heavy metal score was extremely high. We have had people that have done like Quicksilver Scientific push catch, and like rather than doing, our heavy metal protocol is you do 2 kits back to back, taking it 5 days on, 2 days off. So each kit lasts a month. So you do like, essentially 2 months of push catch. And then, and this is where you might want to start writing stuff down. And then you integrate, there's something called Detoxamin, Detoxamin. They make these 750 milligram suppositories that include glutathione, and they're made of ETDA, which is like the same chelating agent that's in like when you do like a IV heavy metal chelation, but you don't have to go in and do a shitload of IV treatments. It's not as harsh on the body. The downside is that you're looking at about 6 months of that, taking them every other night before bed. You just basically put one in when you're going to bed, and you might have a little bit of a mild hangover like the first few times, like from mobilizing metals and that sort of thing. But it's nothing that the gentle steady state cardio on an elliptical that I'm going to describe to you and the coffee enemas and things you're already doing can't take care of. Does making sense?
Yeah, totally.
So what's important to do is like after, like it's good that you're doing push catch. It's good that you're doing the coffee enemas, because those are both things that are going to help your liver, and you've already got like the metals moving. Your body needs help. And I know exercise isn't like the most exciting thing, but we got to do it. Yeah. And it's the procedure that I like you to do. I'd like you to do gentle, steady state cardio. I want you to do it where you can breathe through your nose, mouth closed. And week 1, you've got to get 40 minutes of steady state cardio on an elliptical. I don't care if you buy a used elliptical or whatever you got to do, you can figure out a way to do that. And so I don't care if you do like 4 days at 10 minutes each day, or 6 days at like whatever, you can do the math, 7 or 8 minutes per day, right? But get to 40 minutes week 1, 60 minutes week 2, and 90 minutes week 3, and then 120 minutes week 4. So by the end of the month, you should be doing 120 minutes of steady state cardio per week with your mouth closed, breathing in and out through your nose. We got to get your body moving and stronger and flushing things out. And it's not going to happen just with nature walks and those sorts of things. Those are good. I want you doing them, but this is like the next thing that's going to allow the metals to move. It's going to strengthen your body, and it's going to spark some of that regeneration that we need. With me so far?
Yeah.
I think your nutrition's pretty good. Have you ever taken the biohacking HCl?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you taking that before you eat?
I haven't been, just some like Source Naturals digestive enzymes.
Okay, so take 2 of those, but then also get your like now biohacking HCl. I want you to find your optimal dose. Do you remember how to do that?
Yes, I think like add 1 a meal until I have like a little bit of reflux.
Until you either feel like heat, uncomfortable, reflux, or you get to 6. If it hasn't happened at 6, then you take 6 before meals that have like a digestive burden. And within a couple of weeks of doing that consistently, and these other things, you should feel some of the inflammation and all of that leaving. If it ever gets really bad, you remember how to do the baths, the biohacker baths? Like with the hot water, loaded up with Epsom salt, baking soda. You would do best also including 1 cup of 35% food grade hydrogen peroxide. You can just buy it in bulk online. And do that. If you get it from like 1 Minute Miracle, you're going to pay out the butt. But those 3 ingredients in the baths will really, really help your body kind of loosen up.
What's up, guys? Anthony DiClemente here, and this message is brought to you by Optimizers. So a few years ago, I was in a frustrating situation. After just about every meal, I would experience gas, bloating, stomach distension, constipation, even diarrhea. And this 3-month gut reset protocol completely changed the game. I'd tried a ton of things. Nothing had really worked that well until I did this. So what I did was I combined Masszymes, Optimizer's enzyme formulation that helps to break down protein and increase your own immune system's effectiveness, with their probiotic at a specific dosage of 10 capsules of Masszymes with 5 capsules of the P3OM probiotic, taken in the morning on an empty stomach and then at night on an empty stomach. And right away, I started seeing some positive improvements. Then I added another 6 capsules of the Masszymes and 3 capsules of the P3OM probiotic before each meal. And a few months of that, specifically 3 months, 9 bottles worth, my gut was almost completely fixed. Throwing a little bit of gasoline on the fire, I made sure to fast for 14 to 16 hours between dinner and my first meal the next day to increase autophagy, upregulate the immune system, and help clear out some of the other viruses, bacteria, even parasites that can inhabit our gut. And that made a massive difference for me. And if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, it will probably make a massive difference for you. So if you guys want to check out that gut reset protocol, it requires 9 bottles of the Masszymes, 9 bottles of the P3OM, and you can get it at buyoptimizers.com/biohacks. We've got all the discount codes already applied and put together a nice way for you guys to save on the package when you go there. That's bioptimizers.com/biohacks, BIOHACKS, and you'll see the 3-month gut reset protocol that includes 9 bottles of Masszymes and 9 bottles of P3OM. Take it as recommended, and you will see a huge improvement in your gut health. Check it out.
Like, is there any way you have to line up the push catch and those suppositories? Like, I've been doing the push catch in the morning.
Just finish the push catch. Like, do 2 kits of push catch, and then have the after that. That's when you're going to start the detoxin.
Okay.
And the way that you're going to do it is you're going to put in one of those suppositories before bed every other night. Okay. And you're just going to get the 750 milligram ones, which is like their lowest dosage. Get it with the glutathione, and then I'd also like you to pick up. There's a multivitamin called Provites, PROVITES. It's like $40 on Amazon. Get that and take 4 per day to replenish the minerals and trace elements that are also getting chelated by the push catch.
Okay, cool.
Okay. then I think it's good that you're taking the antiviral, and I would continue with that. That's probably going to take like 3 to 6 months to really get deep and clean everything out. And the exercise is going to help. You know, like these are viral infections that like make their way into the cerebrospinal fluid and the CNS. And like, we got to get the blood moving in order to get some of these medications to where the virus has like found a home. And a big place is the liver, right? So all of that making sense so far?
Yeah, this is so good.
Kumba, hey, quit it. Don't be a dick. Come here. Looks at all the neighbors. He's like
That's
day
my
one,
dog.
day one we came back and he's like, all right, I guess I own the place. He's asshole to everybody.
That's my dog, but he's like 10 pounds, so he just looks crazy.
Yeah, right. Okay, so the next couple things that have you got rid of Wi-Fi where you are living?
No, I'm crashing at my parents right now.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of Wi-Fi in here.
Yeah, it's not good. And it's like not at our home, not at our lake house. There's no Wi-Fi anywhere. We can turn it on if we want and need to connect, but zero Wi-Fi. It's going to dramatically slow your rate of healing. And if there is any truth to the fact that they may have turned up the power levels on these things, it's really going to slow it down. You know, so like, I think we just need to look at the reality that something happened in January or February to a shitload of people. Right? And did you change anything significant about what you were doing then?
No, not at all.
So like, these are at the expense of sounding like, I mean, these are their weapons. They have a number of different weapons. It's heavy metals. It's EMS. It's these infections, many of which are man-made. So you can't have it in your home and like want the best of both worlds. You know, it's like it's pretty easy to do. I'll send you a training that we have for all of our coaching clients that kind of breaks it down on what you need to buy and how you need to do it. And like, yeah, you may tinker for a day, or you may need to call Comcast or whoever, but like you do it once and then you're good, right? Because the alternative is I don't want to say like, it's like a slow erosion of health that then is like, you don't want to have to move to Mexico for a year or two. Yeah. Right. Totally. So like, address it now, or the next step is going to be like, go get a fucking cabin in the middle of nowhere for a while until your body's back to normal. And then, you know what I mean? Like, let's just fix it.
Yeah.
And you can do it with Ethernet cables and Ethernet to USB adapters. Your family can still use everything. My mom was like, I don't want to do this, because she like plays her games and stuff. And like,
your mom is my mom.
we were like, it will not affect you. I promise. We'll get everything that you need so that it doesn't affect you, and you can play your games on your iPad, and you can play your games on your computer, and you're going to be good. And she's good now. So that's a big switch that like needs to happen. Yeah. And then what's your phone screen time? How much are you on your phone per day? Like, if you pull it up right now and look at what your screen time is for
like
yesterday.
Including a computer or only my phone?
Just your phone for this.
Okay, let's see. I would say the average, I'm going to look, but I think my average is like 3 hours a day.
Okay. So like, compared to the average American, that's pretty good. But it's still a lot. And what is like an immediate thing that you need to do is, like, as soon as we get off this call, buy a long enough Ethernet cable. I usually just get 100 feet, because then you can have it anywhere and you can travel with it and stuff. You get an Ethernet cable and an Ethernet to USB adapter, or whatever type of adapter you need for your computer. And at a minimum, I don't want you using your computer while it's transmitting at all anymore. So you plug it into the router, and then you plug it into the adapter and into your computer, and then you can go and you can turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on your computer, and now you are no longer on a transmitting device. Make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So that has to happen like right away. And then I'd really like you to try to do as much of your phone stuff on the computer as you can once you have that set up as like a safe workstation, and keep your screen time to be like, all right, I have 1 hour of screen time per day, like that, that is registered and tracked on the phone. You know, so you want your phone screen time to be 1 hour. You'll be more intentional about your phone use. You'll get on there. You'll get done what you need to do. You'll post what you need to post. A lot of that can be done from the computer, and then you're good. Make sense?
It. Yeah.
Okay. You're going to need to do a Candida protocol at some point. You've probably done like nystatin and all that shit in the past, right?
Yeah, I have.
So it's like, it's coming back. But we need to just kind of make some of these shifts to break that cycle. And that's a longer term thing. But what is a pattern that's happened is like, because a lot of people haven't addressed the fact that like their immune system isn't keeping the Candida in check, they find themselves in where they're doing like multiple rounds of nystatin or nystatin and diflucan, and it just keeps coming back. So because of like this rampant use of nystatin and even oregano and some of these other natural antifungals, there's been like Candida resistance developing. So this is probably like not something that you're going to want to do immediately, because it would probably kick your butt for a day or two. But there's an antifungal called terbinafine. And terbinafine is like, it doesn't have the same level of fungal resistance. And you can do a protocol of like 3 to 4 weeks on that. And what you would need to do is like, I think the tablets are like 250 milligrams. You would need to start out at like a fifth of a tablet, like break the thing up and do like a fifth of one. And you still might get a little bit of like die off, you know, or a little like fogginess. But then, you know, over a week or two, then maybe you take 2/5, then like a third and a half and whatever, right? And you kind of work your way up. So that over a week or two, you get up to the dose of one of those in the morning on an empty stomach. And then you do that for like another 3-4 weeks. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
And that should get you some results that, do I want the water on? Yeah, turn it on. No? Okay. My brother's up there giving hand gestures.
What are you saying?
He's like pointing to the fountain. I'm like, what, do I want the water on? All right. So that will address like some of the Candida that's probably been able to survive from the nystatin. Have you done diflucan before? You have. Okay. So
I have.
Your body's kind of used to those two things. Like this is kind of like, let's create a scenario where we do this. You probably would also need at some point in the future to do like a small intestinal bacterial overgrowth protocol with, and you may have already done this, Xifaxan and neomycin. Yeah.
I've done everything for SIBO. I've done the elemental diet. Like that was amazing. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it is like this overlap of where's the immune system at and where's your environment at. And like, they're just both not where they can be and need to be in order to maintain homeostasis on their own. So, you know, these are things that I would do in the next 3, 4, 5 months, but I would do the heavy metals and the antivirals that we discussed first. And then the order at which I would do them would be terbinafine, and then the nystatin and not nystatin, darn it, the Xifaxan and neomycin. Right.
Okay, cool.
And that would probably help a lot with the cravings. My guess is like, the reason that you've done a ton of the SIBO stuff is because you're like, it's got to be SIBO. I'm looking at the symptoms and it's SIBO, and I got these crazy cravings. And I agree with you. I think that's a part of it. I think that's part of what's driving the cravings. It may be the Candida too. It could be a little bit of dysbiosis, but let's start addressing that with the betaine HCl and the Source Naturals essential enzymes, and then we'll layer in the Candida stuff, and we'll layer in after the Candida. Then we'll do like the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and then you will, you know, within the next week have finally made the environmental changes that you really need to like thrive, and it will be less likely to come back.
This episode of the Biohacking Secrets Show is brought to you by Veritas Farms and their full line of CBD products, CBD standing for cannabidiol. Now, we are real excited about this partnership because Veritas means truth in Latin, and we are big believers in bringing you guys the truth, not just through this podcast, but by making sure that any products that we share or that we bring on as sponsors are products that we personally use, believe in, and endorse ourselves. And that is the case with Veritas Farms and their full line of CBD products. The reason that they're so great, they are full spectrum hemp products, meaning that they have all of the beneficial phytonutrients that you get in a quality CBD product. 99% of the CBD products on the market are CBD isolate, and they're just being resold, meaning they're coming from a few small manufacturers. They've only got one tiny part of all of the important phytonutrients that you need to get the benefits you want from a CBD product, and they're just a bunch of different companies reselling them. Veritas Farms is vertically integrated, meaning they own the farm. They ensure that there are no pesticides being added. It's organic, and then they control the entire process from harvesting to extraction until that product ends up at your door. That's what I love it. It's kind of like farm to table, but for CBD. And the benefits that I've noticed, my sleep is better. I feel like I get a deeper, more restful night's sleep. I'm less stressed. I never have periods of anxiety. I feel calm and focused throughout the day. And it even decreases inflammation when I have flights or other things where inflammation is an inevitable part of life. You take a little extra CBD and it can be very helpful for stress, anxiety, sleep, and that inflammation. So if you guys want to check it out, we've arranged a 15% discount for you guys. To get that, you can go to theveritasfarms.com/biohacks. I'll spell it out. THEVERITASFARMS.com/BIOHACKS to save 15%. Check out the Veritas Farms CBD. You guys are going to absolutely love it.
Have you got Infecto Labs panel that looks at Lyme, Bartonella? Well, I mean, we made the panel, but you may have got the tests. We've got an Infecto Labs energy optimization panel. What's up, Pop? I just watered them, the tomatoes and everything. We're covered. We got a garden going. Watering them when we start our conversation.
Oh my God, so fun.
So we created an energy optimization panel that looks at Lyme, Bartonella, Epstein-Barr, and cytomegalovirus. At some point, it might be good to do. It's like our cost. I pay $800 for it the same way that you would if you wanted to get it. But what's good is it would allow us to quantify where some of these things are, know everything that's on the table that could be driving this. The only other thing that could be on the table is Babesia. But honestly, my instinct is that we've actually got iron dysregulation that's causing a lot of the air hunger. Maybe there's some Babesia in there, but I think that it's like the way that you're using tech and then some of these other things all kind of overlapping. And with these changes, I don't really want to focus too much on Babesia. And another reason being, like in the past when we've done like Babesia protocols, sometimes it's helped. You know, we could put you on like Woodland Essences CSA, but you'll get way more from the things that we've already discussed. But I would have that energy optimization panel from Infecto Labs. Like if you just reached out to them and said like, hey, I'm working with Anthony and, you know, I wanted to get this panel. Can you get it? Tell me where the closest draw facility is to me. They can get that to you. And then you can also track the improvements over time, at least with any of the ones that you test positive for.
Totally.
Going back to the iron thing, to kind of bridge the gap, I would, and I think you've already taken this, but Floridix yeast-free iron. Mm-hmm. You've taken that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you taking it now?
No.
So I would get that, and I would just take the recommended dosage with your like empty stomach supplements in the morning. And that with some of the EMF stuff and some of the other things, you should start noticing a continued improvement in your air hunger.
Yay. Oh my gosh, what a dream to just breathe.
To breathe, right? I mean, this really is like, it is a war of, you know, over oxygen and oxygenation in the body, like all of the changes that they're making and everything. And like, I wouldn't even be surprised if the George Floyd, I can't breathe thing was thought out. There's so much symbolism and parallels everywhere. And like, whatever. I mean, I just posted today about that being a false flag because I'm tired of whatever. It was like, anyway, down the rabbit hole. But they're certainly attacking our body's ability to utilize oxygen from many different avenues. And part of the way that some of these things, like on the electromagnetic side, 5G, et cetera, it suppresses melatonin production. So like your sleep is then getting messed with, which then has like a domino effect on everything else. So are you taking melatonin right now?
I am, like a very small dose.
Okay. I would get the BioPure liposomal melatonin. and, get that when it arrives, do a pump before bed. If then where it works best with the micro, do that to kind of get everything caught up, brain detoxification, so on and so forth. And then if you want, you can test doing that with a microdose, 300 micrograms of Life Extension's timed release melatonin, where you do the timed release melatonin as you're going to bed, and then you do a pump of the liposomal, and you kind of swish the liposomal around in your mouth sublingually between your gums and your cheeks and let it absorb. And you'll sleep pretty hard the first 1, 2, 3 days. And then you'll kind of find that the result of all this will be that your sleep starts coming back and improving. You'll be able to sleep. Maybe you'll be like, wow, I'm sleeping like an extra hour or hour and a half. I'm getting an extra sleep cycle in. But that'll start kind of unwinding it. And then if you want to kind of, 6 months down or whatever, as these other things have been addressed, back off, you can. But this will be used to sort of help in the interim. And then the last thing is when it comes to either depression, anxiety, OCD, do you identify with any of those right now in the states that you've been feeling predominantly?
For sure.
Okay. It may be worth looking into transcranial magnetic stimulation. And if you're going to do it, the device that you want to use is the Brainsway, BRAINSWAY. There's a lot in the Chicagoland area. I think the places are called Success TMS, SUCCESS TMS. It helps to restore redox in the brain. This next part is not proven, but I do anticipate it also kills off some infections like toxoplasmosis and things that can make their way into the brain, along with a whole bunch of other stuff when you degrade the blood-brain barrier with, electromagnetic fields. So incredible for all of those afflictions, anxiety, depression, if you want improved cognitive function, all of that. And what you would want to do there is 36 sessions. And you basically do it every weekday. You go in, it's 15, 20 minutes. It's pretty quick. You can tell them, say hey, I've had treatment-resistant depression all my life. I'm looking for healthy alternative solutions. I've tried you got to tell them that you've tried at least 4 different meds in order to get the prescription. So you'd be I've tried 6 different meds. None of them worked. I wanted to try this. I've heard some good things, blah, 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 blah. Then you can get a prescription. I was paying, they may try and charge you $200 or $300 a session. Don't do that. I negotiated mine down to $167, and it had nothing to do with I'm going to share it and talk about it or anything like that. It was just let's make a deal. So then I got incredible results. Then we did it with my dad. My dad saw more improvement from one session than a ton of other things that he'd done for his Parkinson's. And then I bought my brother a package, and he got 36 with an evaluation for $3,000.
Wow. Okay,
so that gives you some data points for when you're talking numbers with them, if you decide you want to go that route, but you can look into it, do your own research. Just don't do the older NeuroStar machine. It doesn't seem to be as effective as the Brainsway. And those are sort of the first steps that I would take in getting yourself feeling a little bit better. Do you have any questions for me or anything that I could clarify?
No, this is so good. I wish I can give you such a big hug.
It's all good.
So good.
Yeah. You're going to be good. You just got to kind of stick it out. You got to have the right game plan. You got to know how to troubleshoot when inevitable walls and sticking points occur. Just crush it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and your laughter is super contagious. There's a really beautiful lightness to you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And I'm glad you feel it was helpful, and I know it will be helpful when you go after it and put it into action.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Have a great day. I'll send you the recording, and then so that you have that if you want to go back and listen to any part. Would you be okay if I sent this to our podcast guy and asked him if he could put it, if we don't put your name or anything on it?
Yeah, totally.
You're sure?
Yeah, always.
All right. Awesome. I will, I'll send this to you now as soon as it renders, and then, keep me updated on how you're doing.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you. Bye-bye. You're welcome.
Bye.
What's up, guys? Anthony here, and thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Biohacking Secrets Show. One of my favorite things to do is helping men and women like you feel what it's like with the body you've always wanted and all-day energy that starts the moment you wake up and doesn't quit. Over the past decade, we've created a proprietary health assessment that helps me to identify the unique toxicities and deficiencies that may be holding you back from the life that you deserve. And what we've discovered in doing this with now thousands of CEOs, executives, professional athletes, businessmen, Hollywood celebrities, and entrepreneurs is that there's always room for improvement and optimization. Whether you're already performing at a high level or you have that feeling inside your heart that you're capable of more, the single fastest way to unlock your potential is to upgrade your mind and your body. And there's no program on earth that does that faster or to a greater magnitude than our one-on-one consulting program at www.biohackingsecrets.com/coaching. We start with our proprietary health assessment that screens you for vitamin deficiencies like A, D, magnesium, iron, etc., high cholesterol and heart disease, high blood pressure, digestive disorders, hidden infections like Lyme, Epstein-Barr, parasites, SIBO, Candida, and more that can just drain your energy in the background, especially if you don't know about them. Anxiety, depression, and cognitive disorders, autoimmune disease, adrenal fatigue, thyroid issues, mold toxicity, heavy metals, environmental toxins, and other genetic risk factors like MTHFR, APOE status, your glutathione production, and many more. We even recommend the specific tests that I use with my one-on-one clients if they're relevant for you in figuring out your biological age and identifying those key areas and opportunities that can take your life to the next level. From there, we create a customized game plan along with a personalized supplement protocol to help you optimize your weight and energy at the cellular level. And for our platinum clients, we even include a personalized workshop with me in Delray Beach, Florida. Most of the year, this program's full with a waiting list, but we just had a couple spots open up and I wanted to offer them to the listeners of the Biohacking Secrets Show first. So if you're interested in seeing what it might look like for us to work together, head over to www.biohackingsecrets.com/coaching. That's www.biohackingsecrets.com/COACHING and fill out the short application form. If you're pre-approved, you'll be given the opportunity to book a time to connect with someone on our team and see if it's a fit. Thank you so much for being a part of this community, and I look forward to potentially going on this journey together.